Hey, I am TC, your girlfriend, not girlfriend, and the most honest F buddy you've never had. Today's topic: me and Tyler are currently in no contact. I have another quick story time for you guys. Let's get into it. So if you watched the very first video on my channel, it's the longest video on my channel. And it is basically telling the story of why I even started the channel, to be honest. It is the story of how me and Tyler's friends with benefits relationship ended terribly. So as a result of that terrible ending, we are currently in no contact. And I mean, I call it no contact because that's what the internet calls it, or that's what YouTube calls it. But really, we are forgetting about one another is what that is. Because in my opinion, no contact, I guess, can be used as a tactic to get somebody back, or to, I don't really know. For me, no contact means that's the finish line. That means you're through. So I did not initiate the concept of no contact. That is something that Tyler brought up, and he brought it up as a means to rid himself of the emotional attachment that he may have had toward me. And I say may have because it's no guarantee. He may have just felt that in the moment, but to rid himself of the emotional connection he had with me so that he can start his new relationship. So I told him that no contact for me means no more. That means no más. We are no longer going to be friends. We are no longer going to talk. We are essentially going to forget about one another. So if you want to do that, understand that that's what that means to me. There's no real going back from that. And he was not really hearing me at first, and he was trying to explain to me how that's not his intention. He just intends to have no contact with me for an undisclosed amount of time, and then we can come back and talk to each other as friends, or I don't know. It all just did not make sense to me, I'm honestly telling you. Now, he did not want to cut the cord like that. He tried to do the friends thing, if you will. But I say friends thing because I was legitimately trying to figure out what us as just friends looks like and move in that direction. But he couldn't answer text messages in a decent amount of time. And he just couldn't really be a friend, is what I'm telling you. And I know that this all seems it all seems very abstract because I'm not being very specific. But what I can tell you is that we went from talking every day to him barely being able to send one text message a day. And he's saying that that is us being friends. Not really. He also did the sending memes in the morning, but no other conversation. And it's for what reason? I don't want to send memes back and forth. I don't want to send memes once a day. And that's just weird. Friends chat with each other, not all day. It is I chat with my sister every day, but I don't chat with my friends every day, and I don't chat with my friends all day, but we are able to have a conversation if and when we do have one. So I would assume that this would be no different. The fact that the expectation is you kind of say something to me once a day, or once whenever, and that is us on our way to a friendship from talking every day. Just no, I wasn't hearing it. So it came to a point, he tried to do that for a week or something like that. And it came to a point where I was listen, either we're going to try to be friends or we're not. And we can forget about one another. That's what I'm gonna call it. And he was reluctant to agree to that. But I gave him that ultimatum, and virtually he was okay, we can't be friends. And all right, that's it. And that was a couple months ago. And so now we're in this no contact period, or not no contact period, but we are actively forgetting about one another. And what I can say is, I know that I told him for me that means forever. I feel like he did not understand that that is what I meant. And the reason why I say that is because he still had the idea that we'd be able to talk to each other at some point in the future. In the stage that we're at now, where we are forgetting about one another, my brain is actively trying to forget about him. And that kind of sucks because It was 3.5 years of my life, and my brain on its own, it's not something that I prompted or was like actively trying to do. On its own, my brain tried to like erase the last 3.5 years. I suppose it's like a protective mechanism, and I had to like tell it to stop doing that. Like, I don't want you to do that. I do want my 3.5 years. Don't try to erase that just because this person has to be erased from my life going forward. Don't try to erase them from the past. But it's unfortunate. My brain is like trying to do that. As for the reason I told him that no contact means forever for me is because the way that I operate with trust and honesty, I feel like when we were having a good time and going through our friends with benefits relationship, there were conversations about like me forgetting about him because I was going to go into film, and he felt like, eventually one day I'm going to like just go about my business and do my own thing. And I told him that would never happen. Like, we are friends. We have developed a friendship. I don't intend to do that to any of my friends unless something catastrophic happens where like I can no longer talk to them or they don't want to talk to me. That is the only way that that's going to happen. It's not going to be from my end where I'm like too good or going about my business and my friendships from the past don't matter. But as it stands with us being in this no contact, or us forgetting about one another, us moving on to this new life apart, if you will, I can't trust him. All the things that he said in the past about us being friends and me never having to feel alone and him always going to be there for me and all of that, like, that's all down the drain, because it clearly, in what we're doing right now, it's all a lie. I had to learn how to do things like with my car and stuff like that because he was not there for me to call. I couldn't even call and borrow some ramps because we are not talking to one another. Like, that is, I don't want to say the definition of not being there for someone, but that is literally, you are not there for that person. If they cannot call you when they need you, you are not there for them. And I will caveat that by saying, if they're not healthy for you to be around, or if there is some reason for you to really stay separate from that person, then yes, definitely separate yourself. It is healthier for you to do so. It is necessary for you to do so. You cannot allow someone to be a drain on you, you know what I mean, or put you in harm's way just so that you can keep your word and not leave them stranded or alone. If they threatened you during the separation, or if they were acting crazy or something like that, definitely necessary. Put that space between you, do it. But I did not threaten him. I didn't do anything crazy. I gave him back the key to his spot. I have not tried to flatten his time. Like, I've done nothing crazy. Literally, the only thing I did was tell him how I felt, and that was that he was a shitty person for doing this in the way that he did. That's probably the worst thing he can say. I did not yell at him. I didn't bang on his door when I went there to get my stuff. I didn't throw his shit around. I didn't act crazy at all. I acted like a decent person, and I was very honest about how I felt about him and what he was doing. That was that. Didn't yell, didn't curse him out, didn't act crazy, didn't do any of that. So he had no reason to feel like I was a threat to him or her or anything. He just, I don't want to say he's a liar. He just doesn't have the capacity to keep his word, period. And so to me, if he were to pop back up months down the line or years down the line and try to be friends, what the fuck for? Because I don't trust you as a friend. I saw how you behaved. I saw that you can say one thing and do another thing. I saw that. I saw that because make no mistake, I didn't act like this was all cool, like I was all hunky-dory, like, oh yeah, I'm fine with, us forgetting about one another. I let him know that he was hurting me. I let him know that that would be rough. I let him know that I was going to be alone. I let him know all of the things he needed to know to make an informed decision. And he still made it. So that's on him. And the type of person that I am, it can't be repaired because I don't like being lied to. That's just that. So I tell this story to you all because I want you to think hard about, like, if you guys are separating, I want you to think hard about the promises that you made during that friends with benefits relationship and the ones you are willing to go back on, especially when it's in relation to no contact or forgetting about this person, permanently separating yourself from this person, because that's what that means. Think about what that means. It could mean the end, period, for you and that other person. because they can no longer trust you. And mind you, I am not the only one. Adam went through this no contact period with a serious relationship that he had. And he felt the same way. Now, mind you, we kind of think alike, but he felt the same way after that point. She did come back and they tried to do the friends thing, but he was like, I had to be honest, I just could not trust her. And you just can't. If a person does something like that, like leaves you on your own like that, like is able to separate from you, like exile you from their life for any period of time, unprompted or without real reason, they could do it again. They could always do something like that again. So you just cannot trust them after that point. So anyway, I've rambled on long enough. That concludes my quick story time for you guys. Of course, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I have no problem answering those questions or sharing more detail about my personal experience. But as always, until the next time, guys, be free, have fun, be safe, and enjoy.